When the dish is ready, it will be creamy, spicy, sweet and fruity with a hint of sourness from the tamarind. Jamaica! What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of Jamaica? Bob Marley, Usain Bolt, reggae, Jamaican rum, or dreadlocks? The serene, beautiful Caribbean Sea? Okay, stop. I'm talking about food here. Jerk, Scotch bonnet peppers, their famous curries, and pimento or allspice, you know the spice that I'm talking about, and many more things. Talking about Jamaican food, it's a culinary melting pot that represents several cultures that have influenced it over centuries. It uses a lot of local ingredients, and that one special ingredient that stands out is pimento or allspice. My name is Shrikant Singh and welcome to our channel Happy Belly Fish. Today we will be making Jamaican inspired chickpea curry. I'm going to take the road less traveled these days, so I'll be boiling the chickpea myself and making the coconut milk too by myself, using some shortcuts of course. So the usual stuff when it comes to boiling chickpeas: soak them overnight and boil them in a pressure cooker with half a teaspoon of turmeric for about 12 to 15 minutes. For this recipe, I am taking 200 grams or about 1 cup of unsoaked chickpea and my humble and highly abused pressure cooker. This one is like an alarm when I cook early in the morning, kind of morning music here with the birds chirping and this utensil going like shh, waking everybody up. I've actually used this to scare away my guests who arrive very early for dinner. You can also boil them in an open pot if you don't have a pressure cooker, but it will take an eternity. But no matter how you boil them, remember that you have to soak them first. Now, normally you can use canned coconut milk, but I'm surrounded by these coconut trees and I cannot let these coconuts go to waste. So I've decided to make coconut milk myself, but by using non-traditional methods. Breaking it almost reminded me of Tom Hanks in Castaway, but yes, it was rewarding. The milk that came out eventually was sweet, it was fresh, and I think this makes a huge difference in the dish. But yes, you do not have to go hunting for coconuts or coconut trees. There are canned coconut milks that come these days that do not contain any preservatives, so you can even use them. Now, just cooked chickpea and coconut milk won't cut the deal, so let's spice it a bit. The whole spices I'll be using in this recipe are star anise, cinnamon, pimento or allspice, and the ground spices I'll be using are turmeric, red chili powder, cumin powder and coriander powder. And another special spice, tamarind, which I have soaked in water to get its sour and tangy flavor. There is one more thing that I always add to this curry because I love this chewy texture that it has. That is this sun-dried tomato. Now the ones that I am using have no salt in them. So if you're going to use sun-dried tomatoes in your recipe, make sure that if they are salted, then you need to adjust the amount of salt you'll be adding later on in your curry. The recipe goes best with coconut oil, but you can use any oil that you have in your kitchen. Now to make the base of the gravy, we will need 1 medium onion finely chopped, some green chili or Scotch bonnet peppers if you have them, and a tablespoon of chopped garlic and ginger. And finally about 200 milliliters of coconut milk. Now you may ask, isn't there a spice mix or a curry powder that I can just add and get the job done very quickly? Probably there is, and probably there is a paste available, but there are so many things I don't like about them. Curry powders are limiting because after a while almost everything starts tasting the same, like that curry powder. You cannot control the degree of heat or salt, and the freshness is definitely not guaranteed, and they may have preservatives in them. So can you learn to make your own curry powders or use individual spices to flavor your food or make simple seasonings to prepare quick meals that are delicious and nutritious? Absolutely. You can start with downloading my free guide on cooking with herbs and spices. It's right there in the description of this video below. Now you know how much effort actually goes into making a simple bowl of curry. So the next time you go to eat dinner at a friend's house, give them a huge hug say thank you, and say that you will come back again one more time because it was so tasty. This is actually me telling my friends in a subtle way to do the dishes after they're done eating. And since you are in my virtual kitchen, don't forget to like and subscribe. Alright, now let's get some Jamaican rum in one hand and let's get this pot filled with some deliciousness. So we'll start with adding some coconut oil to the pot and heat it on a medium heat. And then we will add the dry spices, cinnamon, star anise and the allspice. When you start to get the aroma of the spices, add the chopped onion, ginger, garlic and chili and cook for about 3 minutes without browning them or burning them. We just need to make them a bit translucent, kind of see-through. At this stage, you are going to get really hungry. So you can keep the Jamaican rum down, grab some fruit or bread, munch on it and then add the dry spices to the pot. Coriander, cumin, turmeric and chili. Mix all the ingredients nicely and cook for about a minute. Now add the cooked chickpeas and use a spatula and not your fingers to mix everything again. This already smells so delicious, but wait. Add the sun-dried tomatoes and coconut milk along with some salt if necessary. Mix everything one more time. And remember the tamarind that we had soaked in water at the beginning? Now is the time for you to add the water, this soaked tamarind water. So squeeze out the pulp and add the water that you have. This will give a nice fruity sourness to the dish that we are making. And that was the last ingredient that went in. So you can now cover the pot and let it simmer for 5 more minutes on a low flame. When the dish is ready, it will be creamy, spicy, sweet and fruity with a hint of sourness from the tamarind. What I love about this recipe is that chickpea isn't the only thing that you can make this way. You can try adding any other beans to it. You can make the same recipe with green beans and potatoes, sweet potatoes, pumpkins, carrots, green peas, white peas, fish, chicken, lamb, anything. Getting the curry right here is the key, and the best part is that you could make it without any pre-made curry powder from the market. Let me know how you're going to make your week delicious and happy, not just with this recipe but with so many others that we have on our channel. Don't forget to leave us your token of appreciation with your likes, shares and subscribe.